Okay, I'm heading down the stairs. This is Wolfen 4966. I'm John. I'm your host. There's a little kitten right there. There's Mama. Barely can see her, but we're coming out here, and I want to kind of show you the engine of the beater. Believe it or not, this car is not really in bad condition for a classic. It's got about a year of life left to be a antique, I guess you say. But that's the engine right there. You know, you can see the things I replaced, that STI aftermarket. The Toyota, that's original coil. These are the coils. I got dual coils, dual function, meaning one runs that plus that. That's a spark plug underneath that. Number 2 and number 3. As you can see the arrestor going onto the coil pack, which under the coil pack is the actual spark plug, and then it goes to what would be a secondary independent spark plug, of course, deep well, and then on that one goes to another arrestor, comes on down, and to number 4. So number 1 and number 4 collaborate. Number 2 and number 3 collaborate. This one fires itself, and then this one fires itself, and then this one fires on the opposite side. Well, no, I'm sorry. This fires on the opposite side and fires that spark, and this one comes up on the secondary side and sparks this one. So you got bang, 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 bang. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually intake. And if you look at this model, you got oil filter there. You got exhaust with an exhaust shield. That's the block. And then you come up, you got the valve cover. Well, the valve cover kind of seconds as it's actually an overhead cam. You can see the inside timing belt comes all the way up. So what you have here, you have an overhead cam, which where that little lump was, it would be a little tag saying it's an overhead cam. Well, you have all the emission controls right there. You know, you see that one, you see that one, you see that one. Even one of the emissions which has a filter. You come down here, you go all the way in line, and see that right there? That is a secondary fuel filter. Secondary. I have to get on the car to show you the first and second. Which we got a brake reservoir. You can see the computer module, fuses, battery, and over here, this is the throttle assembly, and this is the intake valve. Usually your intake valve would be right here underneath your valve cover or on the side. It is not. It's an independent. Toyota really did a really good job with this, and it shows you right here your spark arrestor. You're not going to have a regular bridge diode type. You're going to have a anode and a God, let's see if I get this right. Anode and a electrode, which is a twin ground. Which, if you look at it, it's it kind of sums up to a longer lasting plug, but a more expensive plug. And that's it. You got plenty of room in here to, if you want to change your oil, there's your oil filter. You got plenty of room here, man. Everything's on top. This was just like a user-friendly car. You got a brake booster, but there is no power brakes. You got a reservoir, brake booster. That's it. had a guy tell me, oh yeah, well your secondary power brake booster reservoir is empty and you broke the brakes. I said, really? I go, well, let me go outside, have a cigarette, and think about this. So I went outside to think about it, and JR already knew. JR is a good friend of mine, and so is John. And he already knew. He goes, he knew I knew it was a bunch of shit. So he told the mechanic that was working on, he goes, I'll take it from here. So he took it out for a drive, and he found out, yeah, you don't have no power booster. I go, yeah, I knew that. It's actually like an older car. The older car, you don't have a power. You have a power booster, but it's a diaphragm type power booster. It's not electric distribution, which is not EMS. I'm thinking EMS, but it's not EMS. It's a independent braking system, IBST, I think it is. But it doesn't have that. So I said, well, you know, I can't afford it. Let me call my landlord, see if I can borrow enough to get this done. And I never called him. I said, come back. I ain't got the money to do it, man. Sorry. And JR found out what was going on. That's when he came in and intervened. The guy's been working on cars for 50 years. He owns almost a fleet of Mustangs, man. He loves Mustangs. But that's only because him and I, we were raised to work on the original 450s and 351 Windsor, not to Cleveland, but you know, that's about it on the car. I mean, just to let you all know, it's blowing bad gas and it sounds like crap. I don't know if I got enough time to start it up and let you hear it. I'm getting a blinking light. That means I got bad battery power. But this thing's almost 25 years old. Hear that? The squeaky belt. I'll come show you. Right now it's running good for what it used to. But if you can hear it, you hear it fluctuate. That engine's running too rough. That's on idle. So you imagine the power demand on this thing really gives me a lot of help. And the transmission, which I don't really have a transmission, it's a gearbox, electronically controlled gearbox. And the gearbox just can't read the RPMs on it because the RPMs are so erratic. Because, I mean, look at it. I don't know if you can see it shaking. That's bad gas going through there. I'm getting fuel, I'm getting air, and I'm getting water. One equation that's not right in this calculation is water. Water don't work in the engine. Everybody ought to know that by now. Fuel levels are good, radiator is good. I don't lose any radiator fluid. A little bit of oil, and that's because of this valve gasket right here. If you notice, I got 1, 2, 3. It's pretty much a 4-volt system. 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 5. And it's got a regular induction, you know, with the filter. But if that thing ain't reading the right RPMs on that thing, then the gear ratio is not going to be proper either, and it's going to give me hell. And it does. I put this baby in 4th gear right now. It's definitely not running good. It's not reading the proper RPM. My gear ratio is not proper. Feels like everything's coming apart when I'm going down the street. But besides all that, she's been a good car to me, man. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. That's my mechanic lesson for the day. It's just the basics, and I love y'all. Stay cool, stay classy, stay real. Wolfman is out.